Alright, so we're woeing.
We're woeing the first episode of Garke House in the Garage. I cleaned it off.
Oh, wow. It's a nice chair, actually.
Right? They sit perfectly.
They are actually really nice
solid,
chairs.
really good. Made of actual hardwood. This is an actual oak chair. So many people declare their chairs
you got
as like
the
oak.
outline?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I could fuck these chairs.
Who's to say I haven't?
Because if it's a minute in, we
Is
can
that why
put
it was
that in.
sticky?
It's from my brother.
Alright. So.
Drink coffee. You drink coffee every
Give it
once
to
in a
one
while.
of you guys.
Alright, well.
Okay. So remember,
welcome.
the first one we're going to talk about is Justice League, just for context. We're doing context, then plugging the video.
Right.
Feelings going in. Story recap. Along the way, we'll talk about the characters and their comparisons. We're doing the score.
Yeah, we'll take a
I'm
second.
just giving you guys the recap.
Well,
You fucking asked for this.
We'll go bit by bit.
I'm not shitting on it. I'm saying every second or every little bit we'll go back to it and be like, what do we have not talked about? And we just cut that bit out. Okay, so welcome back to episode 2 of the Garke Bark, where we will be reviewing Justice League: The Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder.
Real original.
Yeah, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder is justice.
All right, so
Snyder Cut.
what did you guys think about Godzilla?
I have no fucking idea.
All right, so the
As you can see, the superhero on the table is
Yeah.
Godzilla.
so we did a review, which you can find down below or one of the cards or whatnot. And
I'll stick it in somewhere.
yeah, and we did a
He
review
often
Over.
does.
Over there!
over there probably. So we did a review of Justice League, the theatrical cut. Everybody knows by now the behind-the-scenes drama that happened, and so Joss Whedon came in. He finished up the film. He only used I guess
That's what you want to call it.
10% of Zack Snyder's footage. So anyway,
Yes.
the Snyder Cut came out, and I didn't want it. I didn't care about it, and it was surprising.
What about you? How'd you feel about it? Like, before you even watched it, what were your feelings going in?
Going into it, I gotta agree. It was that why are we doing this? But I can understand the idea of wanting to finish something you started that somebody else took over and
Absolutely.
kind of did it completely different, wanting to go on and be like, this is what I originally wanted to make. So I went in with actually fairly low expectations. I've not been a huge fan of some of Snyder's films. Some of them I really like, some of them I don't like so much. So I was kind of on the fence, but genuinely surprised.
I went in with high hopes, simply because I did not like the other Justice League very much.
Okay.
Like you said in the previous video, I am a fan of DC. I'm a small fan, please. I'm not a big fan by any means, but
We could even swish in if you want.
we're fine. So because of that, I felt the betrayal.
I just want to make sure we're all the way zoomed out.
I'm glad I got a six-pack for this.
Did that do anything?
And it's all got lactose in it.
All right, let's keep going now.
Stay away from my beer, it'll kill you.
Poor Brad gets the poops if he drinks the milk.
Hey, I mean, hey.
All right, so going into it.
So going into the movie, my feelings were of high expectations. I was a little bit worried at first hearing that it was going to be 4 hours long.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, that's too much time in my book, but people will bring up that other things have been longer. You know, past movies have been long, and people haven't judged them as harshly for it. Look at the freaking VHS set for Titanic, and tell me people weren't willing to sit through something.
People went to the theaters for that.
I know, it had intermissions back
Yeah.
in those days. But anyway,
That's pretty cool though.
the 4-hour time limit wasn't a big issue for me, mostly because I understood why. As a DC fan, I know about all these characters. Tons and tons of stuff about them. So when you don't have Marvel comparison, but you don't have people pre-set up. You know, we don't have the Captain America movie. We have the Man of Steel movie, and everyone knows Batman. That's pretty much what we're starting with here. So to have to sit there and explain the characters without feeling like you're just taking 30 minutes of your movie to talk about one character, to make that seamlessly fit in. I thought he did that very well. So my feelings coming into this movie were high expectations, because I could only see it getting better. If you released a shitty Justice League that was 4 hours long, people would have been like, yeah, another Justice League, and moved on.
The bar wasn't very high.
Exactly.
The bar wasn't very high at all.
That's how I felt.
Touching on, like, people like us, we like long movies. We like the longer stuff.
Well, it depends on the movie.
Right.
But I don't hold the length of the movie against it, unless they're wasting time.
Well, I got something to add quickly. You mentioned, he mentioned Intermissions. This was split up into 6 parts.
Yes.
And so it did come up saying part 1, part 2, and you could stop. And then,
I was literally going to touch on that. Yeah.
Oh, so, right.
So
go ahead.
No, that's fine. I was going to say that this, in my opinion, was as big a success, so to speak, because it was released where people could watch it at home.
Yes, that is a good point.
On Hbo Max.
I don't think that people
would have sat through it.
Modern people, especially younger people, and this is not me being generational here. I'm just saying that, like, Vine, TikTok, stuff like that.
All right, boomer, just get to the point.
Well, no, the people's attention spans are like 6 seconds long.
Kids today, you don't.
It's not even kids. Everybody's attention spans anymore. It's like 6 seconds long.
We kind of grew up with, like, YouTube was just happening when we were like 18, 19. Now that's what they're used to. And then, you're talking about Vine, you have TikToks, everything is 30 seconds. So who's going to sit through this?
Yeah, who's going to sit through a 4-hour movie? Whereas, we like that kind of stuff, but, I mean, hell, we had to pause it, like, half hour in, you had to pee or somebody had to pee. Yeah.
You two needed to stop. Don't group me in the weak category.
This man is a camel. He hasn't peed in 3 years.
No one can prove it.
So the idea that it was simultaneous. Well, the pandemic. There's a lot of things that happened at once.
Everything's fucked.
Well, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that happened at once to make this even possible.
Yes, that's the thing. I think the pandemic made this possible.
Everybody was talking about, and also the launch of HBO Max. So before
chain of events.
Right, before you had HBO Now, which was just you get online and it's just HBO. Well, now HBO Max is the whole, like, Warner Brothers catalog, and they got a lot of Criterion Collection stuff in there. So, they're launching a new streaming service to compete with Netflix and what have you. So this was a great opportunity for them to say, hey, enough people want to watch the Snyder Cut, let's throw this on there.
Yeah.
And they threw, I think $70 million was reported, $70 million at this thing. They said, here, take the money, do your thing. And it was good. So why don't we get into what?
Let's go with the story recap. So we're going to talk about the story now. That was just our feelings. So at this point, it is spoiler territory. We will actually spoil the living hell out of it.
All right, so
fuck you, Alex. Fuck you when you edit this.
This is staying in,
bitch.
This is staying in. I don't.
So edit this, bitch.
Let's talk about the story.
Yes, let's talk about the story. Zack Snyder's Justice League starts pretty much where Man of Steel and Batman v Superman left off. Superman is dead. The world is looking like Gotham all the time.
Can I pause you really quick? The beginning of this movie, I went in with such low expectations, and then we start off with whoa, and I was like, my god!
They started with it was sort of a recap of Batman v Superman, which I only saw once because I thought
started on a very low note.
I thought it was
undulated, shooting through the city.
I'm not a huge fan of Batman v Superman.
I will admit that seemed to go a little too
So we went into this film knowing it would be better, just because it's so unique anyway, that this is a weird circumstance.
So opening scenes, we got Soupy Man.
Soupy is
dying. And he lets out this death knell scream of pure anguish.
And it goes across the whole world. Everybody hears it. The mother boxes hear it. Now they're afraid.
Stupid.
The mother boxes.
They're not afraid anymore.
It's so stupid.
So the mother boxes are on the planet at this time. They've been around since ancient times. And what's kept them at bay is the Kryptonian and the ancient gods. Since the ancient gods are gone and the Kryptonian is still around, the death of Superman brings about an opportunity for the planet to be taken over. Because of that, they awaken.
What?
I just realized a plot hole in this film.
What's that?
The time period between the old gods
Yep.
and when Superman crash landed on the planet.
Ares just died 40 years ago.
Ares just died. Okay, you're right.
Nice try.
Does that
bitch.
matter?
Ares was one of the old gods.
Well, right.
That was what the Mother Box was scared of.
Wonder Woman killed him in her film, which was
in the World War II.
which is a good World War One.
World War I.
Which is a
Okay,
good,
so there's still a solid hunk there that...
Yeah, but Ares dying.
well, actually,
Ares
the only
isn't dead. Also, Diana's a god.
all right. Well, if we're talking about plot holes, what about conveniently Darkseid forgetting that Earth is the home of the equation?
Let's get to
whatever?
Darkseid when we get to
there, yeah.
Darkseid.
Okay, all right. So story-wise,
we continue. That Superman dies. World turns to Gotham. Cut to Lois Lane crying a lot, being super sad about just about everything.
But which is great because she had a character this time.
Exactly.
She was wonderful in this film.
She was great, fantastic. It actually cuts in with. Actually, I think it's later on
Why
that
don't
they
we
address
just
that.
hop right into the characters and
Let's skip the plot. Fuck it. Lois Lane.
that
We'll,
is
we'll touch on plot
the
as we go
plot
along,
is
yeah.
sort of connected to it though. Right here, give us the plot.
Yes.
Superman's dead.
Lay it on us, Poppy.
Superman is dead, and the boxes are beginning to activate. The first box to activate is in Wonder Woman's island, which is called.
Themyscira?
Thank you. I was testing them. Themyscira.
Yes.
The box activates in a very protected location, and out comes the villain,
Steppenwolf,
Steppenwolf.
which he looks awesome this time.
I
Way
was
cooler,
very
yeah.
worried. Now, let's talk about Steppenwolf for a minute, since this is our introduction to Steppenwolf.
Let's talk about
You hated him initially when the
yes,
the trailers
yes,
came out.
yes, because it was
garbage.
stills. Because it was stills.
We're not even talking about the
Oh, you're not
even talking about the
you're
image
talking
design,
about. All right, so
So
like
when I first
Yeah,
saw,
go ahead.
when I first saw Steppenwolf's depiction in like a picture comparison from leaked footage or whatever, I was like, "Wait, he's dressed up in 1,000 shiny knives. Ooh, such a great design." But as you watch the movie, the subtlety of his armor. Alex said it multiple times during the film. His armor's alive, and
yeah,
it's brilliant. It's
really cool.
reactive.
like he even goes like and it flops up.
When he gets
it goes
angry,
one
it
time.
becomes
Like,
more
what is that? Like
weaponized.
a hedgehog would kind
Yeah.
of explain.
Yeah,
it's like a reactive armor.
Hedgehog or porcupine,
It,
yeah.
when he gets hit, it takes the
There's
blow
like
in a better way.
purplish hue that comes off.
I like he gets shot with like 8 arrows and they just and they all.
Oh yeah, he goes like that. Like
They all pop out. And that's
It's
brilliant.
pretty great.
That's brilliant because it shows
just pick
that
the
not
house.
only is he extremely
Right down
strong, he has advanced technology, and that was a great thing.
Right, and
We're new.
Well, and a little bit of a
I'm just clumsy.
little bit of a comparison in the theatrical cut because I saw the theatrical cut once in the theater with you guys. Yeah.
That's the only time I saw it.
Yeah, well, I only saw it once in the theater. Initially,
Yeah, true.
now they're in this temple-like thing, right? And they do secure it.
The Temple of Themyscira, yeah.
However, the stakes weren't that high. They didn't show like the true power of the Amazons. In Snyder's cut, the full vision, they seal off the temple. You actually see them swing the hammer, the hammers, and you see you see every single muscle move that they're actually that powerful.
I just want to
Like,
applaud
there's-
every female bodybuilder in all of those scenes.
It showed
Because you just show just jacked women just being incredibly powerful.
Well,
it was
it
amazing.
showed the strength of the
the
Amazons
so well.
and it also then what happens is the temple actually falls into the sea. They think they
It's
may
a
have
really
beat
good
him,
way to seal it.
and then he pops out. It's just so much.
The demons come out.
It's so much. It's just so well done as comparison to the theatrical cut, which really undercut all of that and really took away a lot of the.
Yeah, I really. That's
power.
one of the things I want to know. Like, what was he handed out of this movie? Like, remember he only used like 10% of the original Snyder's cuts. What did Snyder hand him, and what did he go? No, I don't want that. Seriously.
Well, there was a lot of added scenes where, we can get to all that. Crap.
It was just a thing to throw out in the ether.
Can we touch on the Amazons briefly? Two part here. Part one. It was almost like a fetish thing there for a little while because it was all like slow mo on the every muscle moving.
Well, but that's
and
Zack Snyder's style.
But part two,
You know.
I was digging every second of it. It was just hordes of women that
So-
could fold me into a tiny square.
I was just saying,
and I
official
was loving
statement.
it.
The powerful scene depicted by the women was awesome. On a side note, there's a guy that was hot. That was really hot.
Yeah.
I want that bitch to hit me with a hammer.
Yeah.
But you're right, and all that was undercut in the
Should've said
theatrical
bitch,
cut.
right?
Yeah,
Let's say bitch.
It made them all look very weak, like pushovers.
Well, they were kind of whippy. In this one, it was literally, we're gonna go out, we're gonna find
And she even
every
says-
woman that
right.
should be called daddy.
Snyder went out and said, if you could
If you could
bench press me, you're in the movie.
Well, Snyder,
catch that door.
If
We're
you-
like, yeah.
when you watch Zack Snyder's 300, everybody's well built,
Oh, yeah.
muscles are popping. That's just like his style in general. I mean, and of course Superman, Aquaman takes his shirt off in every single scene. I mean, you can.
Well,
It's just
That's
it's
just Zack
four-
Snyder
4 hours of
doing
Aquaman's
his-
nipples. It's-
Snyder did 300, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Every ounce of what he learned about making muscles pop in 300,
Yeah.
he threw all of those Amazons. Like when they catch the door, that's straight out of 300 stuff right there.
It was like just that especially that bit when they're going down the hallway and they're swinging the hammers and then they
Oh.
catch the door.
Yeah.
That was
Ooh.
like
Which
what
was in-
30 seconds, maybe a minute tops, and we
Yeah.
were just like, this is just
This is already better than
Again,
the last movie.
but it-
as a
Right.
thirsty man, it was great, but
You're
as
married.
she agrees. but
Alice cut that out of the video.
stylistically though, like visually, it was really cool.
It was.
Because they did.
Right.
Like, the lighting was perfect. You could see every muscle tense individually
That's
on
what-
all of it, swinging the hammers,
And that was-
catching the door.
right.
There was strength.
To add to that, real quick,
Right, yeah, go ahead.
they actually have a scene where just the Amazon forces, this isn't even the main force, this is just the supplemental group that is holding the mother box.
The Temple Guard, yeah.
The Temple Guard. They managed to stop Steppenwolf for a minute. Actually stop him. Like, they pinned him down.
And him defeating them was, a way to set up the stakes. Just like, I guess, in Avengers Infinity War, Thanos shows up and fights the Hulk, which he's not. Is he the strongest Avenger?
Stumps his dick in.
Yeah,
basically.
Hulk
He-
is the strongest
He basically, it's like, okay, that was nothing. So if he can defeat the Amazonians and then go on from there, and then of course there's a mother box in Atlantis. There's a mother box in
Earthrealm.
Earth, which
The Atlantis fight was less.
it was still better this time than in the theatrical cut.
Yes, but it was
Because-
less than the Amazon fight. The Amazon
Absolutely.
fight was just really cool.
Well, in defense of that, the Amazons took him as an actual threat.
This is very true.
The
You're right.
Atlanteans, it is said before them, like, they won't send us extra troops. Seriously,
Oh.
we need more troops.
Which-
and the princess is like, I'm sorry, our king's an idiot. And then they go inside and
should
try
be-
their best,
yeah,
which is great.
I don't know if this was added scenes or not. That
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe is now in the Snyder Cut.
I love Willem Dafoe.
I don't know. Right, I don't know if these scenes were initially filmed to set up Aquaman or if they were reshoots because Snyder did shoot new stuff. I don't know if it was this past year or 2019, but
I bet money he reshot that one.
so there. I think these were added scenes that really set it up, and they're like, well, the king, who's the whole point is Aquaman goes back home and has to defeat the evil king or whatever. And I actually haven't seen that film.
He has to
I
stop
just
his
know-
half-brother.
Yeah,
Because
I
his
just
half-brother
know.
wants to wage war against
Right,
humanity.
so they kind of set
And
that up,
since
which
he's
was
a
great.
half, he doesn't want that.
Yeah.
And he realizes war for his people is not what his people are destined for. They're destined for greater things than just
Right.
being tyrants.
So now we're sort of touching on
Let's
We've-
step
we've
back.
segued into the characters a
So
little
mother
bit.
boxes are being taken by Steppenwolf. He gets the first one, goes and talks with big evil dude in his basically he's taking over Chernobyl. So that's supposed to be like the
I don't
Medusa.
know.
Dis-
Who's the
Desaad.
guy that shows up at the Cape and
Desaad.
Desaad?
There
there was a lot of
can't speak
cool
to it.
bad guy
Desaad, yeah.
interaction in this.
So
one.
we learned in this scene that
I sound
Steppenwolf
an
is
idiot. It's a cool bad
No,
guy
you're right.
interaction.
You're very right. Steppenwolf speaks with basically the forces of Darkseid. He's like, hey, I found a planet. I'm taking it over. Let me back in, Daddy. Please don't.
Oh, they
The whole
basically
time.
made, if you don't know, my earlier films that everybody hates, George Mary. So everyone who's a loser, I just automatically call George Mary because I was this pirate character I made who's a loser.
No one cares.
Steppenwolf is, no one does care. You don't know what the hell this is. Steppenwolf is a loser, and he wants back in.
Because he failed
You
at
know
some
what?
point.
You know what?
Should I-
Covering Alex's head, there's going to be a card
To
to the first episode of
Mary.
George Mary.
You chose to click it. Remember that.
I warn you. Get used to hearing.
But my point is,
Grog.
Steppenwolf has a character this time. He was just, bumbling, and he looked stupid and dumb and
He's like an orc in the first one.
in the
This
theatrical,
was.
and he wants to get back into Darkseid's good graces.
Yeah.
Everybody in this film
Yeah, he
has
shows weakness too.
everybody has a character. Everyone has
True
an
vulnerability,
arc.
yeah.
Like the Flash gets to save the day. Batman isn't angry the whole time. That he's not fighting with Wonder Woman like in
This
the
is a good
theatrical
transition over to
Yeah.
Batman. So with
Talk about Batman a little bit.
with Batman killing Superman, we've got a world without Superman, a world without light, basically, and Spider-Man. Good job, Will. Batman realizes that there's stuff happening, and he wants to assemble a team for when it gets worse. Like he saw Apocalypse take out Superman, and he's like, we need to be ready. Doomsday. I see Apocalypse.
Doomsday
I
killed.
was like, something didn't sound right.
Doomsday.
Which, by the way, looked like a giant orc, like troll, like character. He didn't look a thing like.
Like the cartoon version.
If he
or
could
the
be
comic book
described
version.
in one word, it would be.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
once again,
Doomsday just looks stupid.
They're taking Zod and they're making it.
Oh yeah.
He looks like Doomsday got mixed with the crocodile or the alligator from Spider-Man. That's
It was the
basically where it
whole
was.
freaking thing. Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
we're getting out of this.
getting
We're getting out of
off
this.
track.
Anyway, so Batman is trying to assemble a team. Now he doesn't know about the mother boxes yet. He's just trying to get people to be part of a superhero team because he made a promise to Superman. And Alfred even says, "You're pushing yourself way too far." And he's like, "It's not about me. Don't you get it? That's the point."
Fuck you, Alfred. I do what I want.
Shut up, Dad. But anyway, he starts assembling people, and his first choice is Diana, who is more than willing to help. But Diana then hears about the mother box abduction via an arrow. Now, let me talk about another amazing scene. The Wonder Woman bank robbery suicide bomber scene.
Oh yeah, completely different from the theatrical
Oh
film.
man! So in the theatrical version, I'm going to give my two spots here.
Go ahead.
The theatrical version, Wonder Woman saves the day in a rather shortly lived fight that shows her be quick in like blocking bullets with her wrists once. It doesn't really give a good representation of her power. In this one, she's right off the bat on top of the building, using the lasso to get some information out of the guys to learn that they don't care. Then she goes in there. She's got 30 seconds to defuse this bomb that's going to take out the whole city, several city blocks. No hold bars. She goes in, she kills people, she kicks a dude into the wall, she slams another person because she values the lives of the innocents
There's
more.
blood and gore in this.
Blood and gore, yeah.
cut.
And the best part is they showed her speed.
Yeah.
Everything's happening in slow-mo for her. She's dodging bullets, but then they play it in real time.
Right.
She's blocking bullets faster than you can see. She slides in front of all the people, blocking all those bullets. She's just tearing it up, and it's amazing. And the fact that if he had that in the theatrical cut, and he was like, no, he's a fucking idiot.
A lot of scenes were cut, scenes were added. There was a really, like in this version, let's just do a quick thing about Lois Lane really quick. She was actually,
Q Gotham.
she was great in this film because she goes and she goes and sees the monument of Superman like every single day, gives coffee to the cop guy, which then builds up to stuff. Whereas in the theatrical cut, it was like, we need the big guns, which was bring her in.
Bring Lois in,
Like,
because
is
Alfred's
that
got
what
her
it
in the
was?
car, they've been driving around the
Yeah,
block.
it was just stupid. And also, and she hasn't gone back to work yet either. Whereas in the theatrical cut, she's
right back
now,
into
but
it.
she's writing puff pieces and she's getting like made fun of by coworkers. It's just stupid. This was actually great.
She actually showed grief. Like,
She actually
Everybody
wouldn't
had
go
a
back to
character.
work. She wouldn't go back to work until Superman's
Right.
mother, Martha, comes in and talks to them. And she's like, you really need to get your life back together because he wouldn't want you to stop living. That was why he made the sacrifice. And then she leaves. Lois Lane is moving through her guilt more steadily now. And then we get Martian Manhunter was the pep talk. It wasn't actually Martha. Yes! Yes! Now we just need Booster Gold! Then we'll be there! No, but
See
in
our
serious terms,
last video. He goes on about this guy. I have no idea who it is. I'm not a
Booster
comic book
Gold.
guy. I don't
For
know.
at least an hour and a half. It was great.
I don't know what's going on.
if you don't know who Booster Gold is, look him up. You're welcome. Anyway,
All right. So the Flash.
The Flash is doing Flash stuff. So once again,
He's
we've got
faced.
Barry Allen walking around town. He's trying to get a job as a dog walker, but doesn't have any actual experience. Which, just gonna throw this out here, he doesn't need it to be a dog walker. That's so stupid. Anyway, The lady's just giving him a hard time the whole
Was
time.
it dog walking?
Yeah, it was dog walker.
Or was it like a cafe?
No,
Like
it was dog
cafe?
walker.
All this was completely cut from the theatrical cut, if it was even in there.
It shows that he's trying to get a job because his dad doesn't want him to waste time trying to become some kind of lawyer.
He saves a woman.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's
Right.
a lawyer. There's a woman there giving him eyes, and he's giving her eyes. They're like having this connection. Then she gets in her car and drives away, but then a truck comes and crashes right into her. Well, of course, Barry goes and saves her. Like, runs over and
runs his shoes off.
Yeah, he blows his shoes off right off the bat. And we have this beautiful scene of him, like, gently moving around
Right.
the way. He steals a hot dog.
He touches the glass and it turns liquid.
Oh,
then
liquid
explodes.
first.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder, if
so
anything,
good. So good visuals.
if anything, he's good at visuals, and I've always said, like, maybe he shouldn't always be a director. He should be the art
Artistic
director,
director.
because
I mean, he's earned director in my book.
there's
now.
always.
He's just got to make the right kind of movies.
Yeah, like again, like
Action
Watchmen,
movies.
300. That was right up his alley.
Basically, stories that have already been written. So that way he doesn't have to add any plot.
Right.
Well, let me touch on something I mentioned earlier, that where it started on a very low note, with the which is better than the weird CGI lip, like, yeah, what's it like to be a hero? I don't fucking... Oh, I was like, high-fiving?
No, well, yeah, let's mention that. Yeah, you want to talk about in the theatrical cut, Henry Cavill had a mustache because he was filming Mission Impossible 6, I believe, and so they had to cut out CGI his mustache. Everybody knows about this mustache gate.
I can't see it.
But anyway, you want to touch on that.
So the opening was way better at this one, even with the... But...
Because at least it had a purpose.
Set the tone right away.
But the thing is, like,
Yodeling.
well, said it poorly because that was hilarious.
Yodeling.
We were dying. We were laughing so hard.
Let's not...
But...
No. It does set the tone. Because then immediately after the Aquaman scene that happens very early, we get girls just throat singing at the docks. Did you forget?
Oh, yeah. All right,
There's
so
a lot of
let me-
throat singing. And then when we get the Themyscira, more throat singing.
that was-
So, basically what I'm trying to say is that this started, for me at least, on a comically low note, and then immediately after was great the whole time. So it starts off with it has a little bit of a stumble at the starting, at the starting gun, but then it turns out really good. Yeah, the singing was just...
Where is Aquaman? Is he in Iceland?
He's somewhere that he's somewhere where the people need him, but also don't judge him. He's up in like Greenland.
We're kind of hopping around. Let's finish up the Flash.
That's the
Go
point.
ahead.
Moving on.
We were kind of joking what Will was just saying, that like early on in the movie the two most memorable lines were and then
They sing this like... Now, I'm not trying to say anything bad about the singing. The singing was fine. It was just you had this somber moment of him leaving, not helping Batman. This somber moment of like Batman going, trying to get him to join him, and then he refuses, walks into the sea, Batman's being there angry and determined, and then out of nowhere, they just burst into song. And it's a somber song, mind you, but it was very much a what? Moment.
It's a little jarring.
Anyway, moving on. They assemble the team. All the characters get a good time portraying themselves, and one of the things that they actually really do well is talk about Cyborg's backstory and his relationship with his dad. That's big throughout this movie.
It becomes a huge part of the film.
I would argue that Cyborg's entire story is in this movie, like his origins.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't need a Cyborg story, a starter origin film. I really feel like you don't. And that's probably one of the reasons this movie is 4 hours long. It's because he put the entire origin story of Cyborg right in there, which was great. So they assemble the team, and they're trying to stop the last mother box from being taken, or the second last mother box, no, the last mother box from being taken.
One, yeah.
Which was actually Cyborg
the one that
comes from him?
Yes.
Type of deal?
So his dad activated the box years ago to save his life. Because him and his mother got in a terrible crash after the victory of the century in their football team. Him making the last victory. Oh, that football scene was great. Him making the last goal at the last minute and bringing his team to victory. And then they're on the way back and they're arguing because he's upset that his dad wasn't there. And his mom's like, he's working, he loves you. And right before they get to the resolution, they're still arguing. Life. Truck hits him. Kills his mom instantly, and he's stuck in the hospital. Then we cut to his dad, who this whole time...
Yeah, actively dying.
Yeah. And then he's dying, and this whole time we've seen his dad be very work-focused. And he just breaks down right at the hospital, and he's like, I won't let you die.
He became Frankenstein.
He did.
He basically, at that point, I'm not going to let you die, I'm not going to at all costs. Even to the point where his son is just like this torso hanging up there.
He goes and gets the mother box, which you learn later on. He goes and gets the mother box and activates it. And because the mother box has the property of terraforming things, it can transform stuff.
The essence of change or something
yes,
like that.
Exactly. It is the essence of change.
He has background on that.
He had it because the Nazis found it in World War II and were trying to use it but couldn't because they lost the war too quickly. Because the Nazis couldn't use it and the Americans took them over in the siege of Hitler's bunker, they got it. And it was just sitting in a warehouse for years until his dad was the person who could understand it enough to bring it to life.
He's science man.
He's brilliant.
But he has a character.
Cyrus.
He has yeah. Like that's what's so great. This goes along with comparisons as well to the theatrical cut, which is
his dad is
Cyborg was very undercut. This actually showed Cyborg, like you were saying, Cyborg's whole story basically is in this,
which I think was very well. Yeah, in the first movie, in the theatrical cut, it just makes Cyborg seem like a whiny bitch. Like, he's literally the whole time, he's just like, I can't do it. You don't know what it's like to be me.
Well, but that's even like Batman.
Hair.
He's like,
and in this one, he's like,
I gotta be solo, I gotta be solo. And then there's that cringe line at the end of the theatrical cut where it's like, I'm gonna do it myself, Alfred.
Yeah, like...
And then everybody pops it up at the end, and then you just go to Alfred and just, no, this is the team. Yeah. And it's like, what? Yeah. Everybody was a team in this movie.
Everybody wanted to work together. It wasn't Batman coming to realize he needed help.
And there was no...
He knew he needed help from the get-go.
Right.
Anyway,
you could finish
continuing on, Cyborg gets his powers from his dad who activated the mother box. Which means Cyborg has the mother box and he hides it from them, from the people who come to take it. But because they can't locate the mother box, they start taking people. And the parademons are just grabbing people and snatching them up. And at which point, his dad gets taken. So he's like, I gotta find my dad. Well, the rest of the league goes and actually finds where those people are being taken by coordinating all of their abduction points in Gotham and Metropolis?
I mean, I guess they're being taken.
Did they say Metropolis?
Yeah, I mean...
Fairly certain.
Well, they were talking to George Gordon on the roof.
Yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of those scenes were there, but it was just very, very little like, oh, that's his dad. Okay.
Well, we're jumping ahead. Let's keep jumping a little faster because we are delaying quite quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need like a full
they save his dad.
Of the film.
One comment I want to say is that fight scene in the tunnel is pretty much the exact same one for the theatrical cut.
Pretty much.
Except they cut out all the crap of the Flash hesitating, and they give him a badass scene where he knocks a bunch of rubble away from people.
Oh, and he doesn't just land on Wonder Woman's boobs for no reason.
For no reason, yeah.
Yeah, there's all that like very just cheap laughs that...
Yeah, the laughs have been cut.
I want to land on her boobs.
No, you don't. You'll die. There's rock solid.
But also...
Well, what a way to die.
I know that I'm jumping to the end, but I don't want to forget this one part. We can come back. Was where Steppenwolf has set up his command at the nuclear power plant. There's no one around, specifically because of radiation. Chernobyl. Basically, it's like a Chernobyl type deal. In the theatrical cut, there's people there.
Yes.
And so at the end, all the Flash gets to do is kind of, I'm going to rescue these guys in a truck.
And
I only know this because I recently went back and rewatched some scenes on the internet because I don't remember this. And then it's like jokey where Superman comes up. It was kind of...
Superman literally cucks him right then and there.
Yeah, it's like...
He's like, I'm going to save this family in a car. And Superman's like, peasant building.
I have a building. None of that's there. There's no people there. It's straight the entire time.
Because they're using the radiation.
Right, they're using the radiation. It's like a fortress.
But that's the other thing.
There's parademons with Garke, with
towers and guns. And also, you can't get in because of the defensive bubble they set up. Batman literally does a suicidal move to get them in.
But he's doing it. He's being the leader.
He's being the leader because he realizes
at Wonder Woman the entire time. Wasn't he yelling at Wonder Woman to be the leader?
In the theatrical cut,
the whole time he's like, I don't want to do it. You do it.
Yeah.
And this one he's like, I'm doing it. Everybody is...
He realizes...
Batman is the brains like he's supposed to be.
Yeah. What I felt from when Batman throws himself into the wolves and gets the shield down, Batman realized, out of all of them, he was the weak link.
Yep.
He realized he was the expendable one.
Right.
But no one can replace the Flash. No one can replace Diana. No one
Right.
can replace all these people. But he can be replaced for he's just human. And that's why he was so compelling in this movie. He was putting himself as the leader because he wanted to take the brunt of it because he could take it and was ultimately the least important. Now, people are going to argue he's not because he was the brains of the operation. But from a combat standpoint and a world-saving standpoint, he realizes his limitations. And that's what made him great in this.
Yeah. He's the mortal corralling these gods, basically.
Yeah. He is the... well, I don't know about the morality.
Everybody...
But he is absolutely the spear point.
I mean, everybody definitely had an arc this time.
Yes.
Everybody had a complete story. Except, help me out now, maybe Wonder Woman? What was her...
She already had a movie, though.
She already had her movie, and this one was basically like her realizing...
Like, she feels bad about the
she
people she left behind. Is it... She's just coming out of hiding now?
Well, I think it is that, partially that. Remember, she saved those people, so she wasn't in hiding, but she wasn't a full-fledged hero. She wasn't, she wanted people to stand beside.
Yeah.
She wanted something to rally for. And in this one, she gets that feeling of, did I stay away too long? Now Themyscira is gone. I should have been there. I should have been here. This time, I will be there.
And be part of the team.
And be part of it.
I mean, Batman fulfilled his promise. Yeah. The Flash, found friends, and he's moving on.
He's doing what he wanted to.
But he also is able to give up that part of his life, like his dad, and sort of go his own way.
His dad wanted to live his own life.
And he's doing that.
He is.
And Aquaman is set up for his movie. He's okay, I'm going to go do the thing now. And then...
well, he gets in a truck and drinks, so I guess that's kind of some part of it.
Who knows?
Aquaman. It ends with him literally getting in the back of a truck and drinking.
But he's going... Is he going
But he's being pushed in the right direction.
Yeah, so everybody has a full story this time. Cyborg is...
Cyborg has come to terms with what he is.
Yeah, right.
He is getting over his father and mother's death, but he is reaffirmed that he is who he is. Because remember, they offered, we can turn you back. He's like, there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, him and the Flash were so undercut in the last film.
Shamefully.
And they're like the main thing. Like,
they're the driving force.
The Flash.
The Flash is great.
Basically saves the universe.
He saves everything.
Well, I was gonna get to that.
Yeah, you want to get to that now? Then?
Yes. So Superman gets resurrected. They all get together. They're like, it's time to take on the final boss. They fly in there, and they gotta stop the cubes from fusing because that'll terraform the Earth. They get in there. Everything's going well. They beat up Steppenwolf. But the problem is, Barry can't get to Cyborg soon enough. He gets shot.
Yeah.
So he's not able to run to Cyborg to give him the power boost necessary to hack into the orbs and separate them. Because they cannot be separated outside.
Because when he approaches the speed of light, he creates a large electrical charge.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And
the problem is he can't maintain it for long. So he's trying to do it. They're trying to get in. But then the portal opens. Darkseid's there. Barry can't get soon enough. And the orbs fuse all the way, and then the world starts to get destroyed.
Darkseid comes in.
Darkseid wins. Everybody starts to die. Superman is atomized. Cyborg destroyed. Everything starts to terraform. Everyone's dying. At which point, Barry starts to keep running. And he runs, and he runs, and he starts to go back in time. They got that dead on. Where Barry is not just fast. He is quite literally the fastest thing in existence. The Speed Force can propel him beyond physics. He can outrun anything. So he not only outran this future, he shoved it all back. And he made it to Cyborg, which lets them start winning the fight. And it's at that point... No, they kicked What's-His-Face's ass first.
Steppenwolf, yeah.
It's at that point...
all the things threw his ass through the portal, headless,
We saw everybody... get defeated, and you get to watch it all get undone.
In the theatrical cut, Wonder goes up in that same shot and cuts Steppenwolf's axe and breaks it. In the Snyder Cut, she cuts Steppenwolf's head off, which was the original way. So she finishes him off, and he just goes back into through the portal. It's not even a boom tube, right? At this point, it's just
I think it's a boom tube, yeah.
And then, Darkseid just crushes his head like, screw this crap.
So a big part of this is, like, in the old one when they were fighting, Superman gets there in the theatrical cut, and the fight tips in their favor. In this one, they're beating Steppenwolf, but not well. They're
kicking his ass,
but he's still fighting.
Yeah,
exactly.
We still need the Kryptonian.
When Superman arrives, it starts by him just standing in the way for an attack meant to destroy something.
Yeah, the axe.
Not impressed.
Yeah.
Then he just punches the axe out of existence. No big scene. It's just gone, and then he just starts wrecking him. They start destroying him. I think he punched his helmet off with the first punch.
I don't. I got.
Because remember, he cuts his horn off immediately after that. Diana does.
Yeah.
And then they just destroy him. It's great.
Yeah,
they don't have the part where the parademons turn on him because they can sense fear. No, they just murk his ass.
Yeah. No, they actually get him.
Yeah. Which is satisfying. Because remember,
yeah,
it's okay to kill absolute monsters. I'm not saying go out and kill people.
And he literally is like a beast this time. Whereas what it seemed like Joss Whedon tried to do was make Steppenwolf more kind of look like the actor that portrays him, which is a great actor. And I always felt bad, like he kind of got undercut. But in this, it's like, okay, now he actually got to be this badass character with this awesome armor and everything and nerdy type stuff, whatever.
So they actually show Darkseid very early on. He arrives on the planet and realizes that the anti-life equation is on the planet. Or no, he hasn't realized that yet. So he arrives on the planet and goes to conquer it, but is beaten back by the gods, which they had Zeus, Ares, and Artemis. Ares and Artemis, plus a Green Lantern.
Well, that's what I was going to say
and
about...
the Atlanteans.
Drops his hammer or axe or whatever down and reveals the anti-life equation.
Well, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
When Darkseid gets there, he doesn't know it's there.
Right.
So he gets there, and he fights the gods, and he loses, and is repelled. That's why the mother boxes are on Earth, because he was going to use them to terraform, but because he got beaten away and got defeated, they took the mother boxes and hid them. Cut cue to the future, when you have Steppenwolf meditating on the planet, that same scene plays out of Darkseid landing, but it's Steppenwolf. And he slams his axe down, and in the ground, the Omega symbol appears, representing that the anti-life equation is on this planet, or this planet is key in the anti-life equation. So then he calls his big boss, like, Daddy, I found it! I found the thing! Sorry. He calls him and says, I have a reason to talk with Darkseid. I have found the anti-life equation. It is here, on the planet that could not have been taken. And Darkseid then appears to Steppenwolf. He doesn't talk through a lackey. He appears to speak to him. And basically tells him, you do this, you're back in for life. Like, you're good to go.
Back in the club.
Take the planet. Let nothing hold you back. Let nothing stop you. So the stakes for Steppenwolf are now to the roof. He has no reason to hold back in any regard.
And I was talking about earlier, to bring up a plot hole, I guess, was, well, how did he forget?
Well, if you remember, Darkseid got knocked out when he left the planet.
Well, that's what Snyder himself said, was basically, well, he got injured and it was so many years and he forgot.
We don't know how long.
Okay.
Like, for instance,
whatever.
When Superman in the comics gets severely injured, he goes into like a coma like state, which is actually how he survives the death of Superman comic, is he's in this coma, and it takes him a long time to restore. And during that time, he has no memory of what transpired. Assuming that at this point, Darkseid just has the parademons. When he got that injured, he went into a coma. You've got the autopilot systems and the parademons. Yeah. Remember, he lost his tech priests.
Well, again,
so we assume that the parademons are just like, we're going home.
Yeah.
So they drive him home for healing. He gets home, and he's like, where were we at? Let me ask my tech priests that were probably my navigators. Oh, wait, they're all dead. Well, I guess we'll go that way and start taking over.
It's a minor thing.
I think it's not that hard to...
Yeah.
Out of all the leaps of logic in this movie, I really don't think it's that big of a plot hole, personally. Because remember, all of his generals were killed. It was just him that survived. And some demons.
Well, right.
Remember, he had the priests
I think
that
they
were
even say in the
doing
film,
the boxes?
Don't they even say in the film that
Artemis kills
all those people are dead now?
Yeah.
They may or may not actually say that, but Zack Snyder says that in this, whatever this interview was, where he's like, well, they're all dead too, so they don't remember. Oh,
well, literally, the only person that walked away from there was Darkseid and the demons that were on the ship. That's it.
So Darkseid looked cool.
Yes, that's it. Darkseid looked like Darkseid.
And
just death and domination.
It made you want
They also
sequels
showed his home planet very well.
Yeah.
His home planet of Apocalypse.
Yeah. All right. So final thoughts and conclusions.
Did you have anything to say on Darkseid? They showed his I'm going to take this moment. They showed his Omega beams, where they're just like fucking loose ass squiggly lines, and everyone's like, who doesn't know Darkseid? They're like, what was that? They never miss.
They're all zigzaggy. Yeah.
They cannot miss.
No, he was cool. He was legitimately intimidating. They did a good job of catching that.
So we'll start with our final thoughts / do we score it, recommend it, Brad?
Final thoughts. Great improvement. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Very, very, very good. Highly recommend it. Set aside an afternoon. Get some food.
It's 4 hours.
You know, it's 4 hours. Take a break sometime. You know.
Well, what would you say in all the DCEU films? Does it sit in the middle, the bottom, the top?
For me, it's right up there with the Wonder Woman film. The first one. Because that one was just a legitimately well-made movie. This was more of like a mini-series, but it was still very, very good. This was an epic. It really was.
Yeah.
It was.
I agree.
It was an epic.
The story is an epic itself.
And
read the comics.
You
can read them online.
Very, very, very good. I highly recommend it.
Alex?
Well, the biggest praise that I was able to give the theatrical cut was that it was better than Batman v Superman. Which isn't like high praise at all. It's like, well, that was just a better movie, and then it was okay.
A fart's better than a shark.
Yeah, I mean, like, look.
I'm gonna hold my quote on that one.
I mean, a turd looks better than shit, right? I mean, it. Well, that's gonna be a good.
You decide.
You decide.
In the comments below, you tell us. What is the difference between turds and shit?
All right, so what do I think?
I want to see some really good arguments.
Okay, so
All
definitely
4 people.
Us.
Now I haven't seen. Okay, so I haven't seen all of the DCEU films. I saw Man of Steel. I thought it was good. I haven't seen, Suicide Squad.
You don't get to tell us to hurry up.
I haven't seen. Yeah, I'm trying to do my thing here. I'm trying to see this. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. I have no interest in seeing the old Suicide Squad. I have an interest in seeing the new one. And that's its own can of worms, its own thing. I have not seen...
Watch the first one before you see the second one.
Alright, I probably will. I have not seen Shazam. I heard
You'll
Shazam.
enjoy Margot Robbie.
I heard Shazam was good. I heard Aquaman was pretty good. It definitely looked cool visually.
Fine.
It looked good.
It's fine.
It looked good visually.
I really liked, what was it? Black Manta? Or just Manta?
Yeah, I mean...
I remember his name.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I
really
mean,
cool.
It looked... they were trying to brighten everything up and whatever. But this was good. This was some... Like, again, I didn't want it.
Top 3 or DC.
Like, again, I didn't want it. I didn't need it. It was good. It was surprisingly good. I actually really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed all 4 hours of it. I feel like it needed all of that time. I mean, again, there's the epilogue. He even added stuff where it's like, Zack Snyder may or may not ever be able to do another one. So it was like, I'm just going to throw everything out there. You guys, come on. You've had all the airtime.
No.
Give me my paper towels.
I was saying to give Batman the reach around.
I'll say this. When the Joker's talking to Batman and they're having that cue together, it does play well because the Joker does seem crazy and has a semblance of understanding what's going on. My only gripe in that whole dialogue part, other than I will fucking kill you. I hate that line. One of the things I hated
kind of dumb.
Was when the Joker's like, "Oh come on, Max, who's going to give you a reach around?" He should have said, "Who's going to be your big spoon?" That's funny. Give you a reach around's dumb.
All right. So what I'm saying is,
reach arounds are dumb.
In the DCEU, this is a good movie. Go watch the movie. If you're a DC fan, if you're a Batman fan, a Superman fan, whatever, it's a good movie. It's not a masterpiece. It's not the best. I think Wonder Woman is probably still...
William, what did you think?
The better one.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Air time!
Two major points I want to say. Firstly, I thought this was one of the best DC movies to be made in quite a long time. I thought it perfectly represented many of the characters. It gave everyone...
Live action.
Oh, of course.
The animated
live
ones are
action.
Oh, the animated
The
Batman
animated
films
Dude,
are always
dude.
great.
We're talking live
Go
action
watch
here.
Batman
That's not
Returns.
totally different
Animated
thing.
films.
Animated
freaking
films can
amazing.
do so much that these can't, especially in a fantasy setting like superheroes.
Anyway,
But
sorry, I cut you off.
Listen,
Go
you
ahead.
stole my time.
Yeah.
So, if you're coming into this looking at it like, oh, how is this like Marvel? Don't. This is its own thing. DC and Marvel are separate for a reason. Come into this without thinking of the Marvel movies. That being said, if you know about DC Comics and you're curious, I highly recommend you watch this movie. Give it the time it needs. Because, remember, if you were to put all of the Avengers, pre-Avengers stuff together, that's like 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the Avenger movie. They didn't have that. They had one movie. So that explains why it's 4 hours. In my book, I put it probably the highest out of all the Marvel DCU movies, or Marvel, the
Not
DCEU movies. Because you have that great acting from Wonder Woman. You have that great acting from Ben Affleck. He is a good Batman.
Everybody was great in it,
Everyone
and
was solid.
he was
The
a solid Batman.
The
Like,
aspects
yeah.
of their movies is transferred
right.
in the best light.
He's a good Batman for this comic book type of thing. He's not my favorite Batman. My favorite Batman is still Christopher Nolan's Batman, but that's not in the comics.
Anyway, so
You guys.
anyway, so to finish up my final statement, I would highly
I'm drunk.
recommend you watch this, and do not, I repeat, if you get anything out of anything I've said, don't watch the theatrical version. It's trash.
It's crap. Yeah.
It's not
Don't
good.
even bother.
Like,
Watch
I
this.
have a couple friends who will severely argue with me about that, which I fully understand. There are redeeming aspects of it.
It's fine.
But all of that is just put down in the wake of this
Right.
movie.
None of us thought it was bad.
No, but
until
it was,
we saw the Snyder Cut.
we
Now we're
yes,
like,
we realized how bad
we
it was.
didn't hate the theatrical cut. Again, it was fine. It was just
fine.
like,
It
okay.
when we saw this one,
That
we
was a-
realized how
right.
good it truly could be.
That was a Frankenstein film. This film is Snyder's complete vision and then some.
So my
And it's good.
final thoughts. This movie has raised the opinion of Zack Snyder for me.
same.
Like, I understand that he didn't really have a big to do with the story since it's already been written in comics, but the man knew what he wanted and he did it flawlessly.
And it looks
My hat
great.
goes off to all the actors and everyone in the movie
Right.
except Jared Leto. And other than that, I give this guy a solid 9 out of 10. If you're a DC fan or you just like DC Comics and you like more than just Batman, watch it.
And, yeah.
That's the end.
All right, cut. All right, so now let's see how much...
Jesus Christ, steal my time, man. Is that your fucking superpower?
What are you talking about?
My final verdict. Let me give it cutting right there. I did not fucking talk to either of you.
It's
two.
I know. I was just sitting here thinking,
It's
like,
71 minutes.
this would be the most dicky thing I could do.